Ready. I love it.
Okay, you want to dive into the most controversial cue in fitness today?
Let's start it off with a bang.
Let's
Yes.
just
What
go
is it? What
controversy
is
right
it?
away. Okay, from physio perspective,
Okay.
what are your thoughts on shoulders back and down? Like everyone says it, every freaking training says it. I said it. What are your
I
thoughts?
said it.
Yeah.
I said it too.
Yeah.
Okay. You ready? I'm going to
Yeah.
riff.
Yeah.
Okay. So, like, we were in school like 20 years ago. So, this is what they taught us 20 years ago, both of us, right? So, you're going to move your arms, you're going to pull your shoulders back and down to like set the scapula and get everything ready to move. And I think that's couldn't be further from the truth. So, when you move your arms, right? So, let's go into anatomy for a little bit.
Okay.
So your humerus attaches into your scapula, right? Into a cup. And then your rotator cuff attaches onto your humerus, but it has to go like under all these ledges. So when you lift your arm, your shoulder blade has to scoop under the humerus to support it, right? When you lift, if your shoulder blades are pulled back and down, it
Right.
actually doesn't give it the opportunity to do that nice like spin upward to support the humerus. And if it can't spin upwards, then what it's doing is it's kind of rubbing on the rotator cuff tendon. And so over time, that's going to be a problem, right? And so pinning the shoulder blades down and in is like a major disservice to the rotator cuff, and it just doesn't allow freedom.
Yeah, I love it. It's kind of like even when you're first teaching me that, I was shocked and amazed when you first told me that. I was like, oh, said it 40 times today, but that's okay. I'll correct as I go. But I remember when you taught me, it was just like, okay, Laura, drop your shoulders back and down. Like right now, drop them back and down. Now lift your arms. How does that feel? And then you're like, okay, now lift your shoulders just slightly, like a millimeter or centimeter, float them nice and wide and lift your arms. It was like night and day. One's like a pop and grind and one's like a free flowing
Totally.
smooth glide, which I was like, well, you kind of can't. When you feel that in your body, one feels really good and one feels really rough.
Totally. And the other thing, like when you pin your shoulder blades down and in, it like braces your rib cage too, so you can't really breathe properly. Like everybody thinks their traps are short, right? And so again, I used to give this to people all the time. Well, a lot of people's scapulas are sitting quite low, which means their traps are way too long, right? And so you actually need to shorten your traps to pick your shoulder blades up so they can float.
Right.
And so that down, back and down is like stretching your traps even more.
Like 5% of our, let's say our population versus 95% could probably use a nice float and a nice widen.
Yeah.
Little float.
Yeah.
Just like, feel the difference.